Good morning and welcome this Monday morning, August 16th, 2021. And we give God praises and glory. This is a beautiful day. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Oh God, it is such a beautiful day today, and I'm still recovering from surgery. I'll almost be 4 weeks. So on the 22nd, it'll be a full month. So I got a couple more days before it's a full month, and I'm feeling better, looking better. Still going through some little ups and downs, some little hills I have to climb, and rocky days here and there. Feeling a little exhausted sometimes, but I thank God for where I'm at right now. I'm sitting out here right now. I want to, kind of get out the house a little, and I'm sitting in the park, just sitting in my car, watching people go by, watching the people around me, and I learned that from a good friend of mine, just to sometimes just sit in the car and just watch and look at things. And I always, I used to come out here to this park and walk and just see the beauty of it all, the trees and the sky, and just, it's really pretty out here. I just enjoy it. I enjoy the serenity of it all. So I give God glory for it. Many of us, we don't, we think it takes a lot to enjoy life. And it really don't take that much to enjoy life. If we can just look at the beauty of the day, and if we can just be thankful that we woke up in our right mind, and we woke up with provisions of things, where we have a home to live in and jobs to go to, we have our health and strength. That's a true happiness right there. That's true happiness, and being blessed to be able to be that way. And so I give God glory for it. So it doesn't take a lot to make for happiness. It's all in what you do. Some people think they have to travel, and hey, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything wrong with traveling. But some people feel as though the only way they can bring happiness, have happiness within themselves, is they have to travel here and there, for the happiness. Now, traveling does bring you some happiness and peace. But when you come back to the normal state, or you come back home to where you are you still happy? Have you learned something? Have you seen something? Have you grown through the trip or whatever, So it's more to it. It's more to it than just the traveling. Some people think wealth, the more money you have, the more happier you be. Of course, we need money to survive, y'all. I can't say we don't need money. Money don't bring me happiness. Oh, yes, it does. Because I'd rather have money than to not have money. So, yes, money brings happiness. Family, being around family and friends, that brings happiness, yes. It's so much around us that can bring happiness. I think about Solomon in the Bible. Solomon was a king. I think he was like the third king, and he asked God for just wisdom, and God granted it to him. But see, look, Solomon had everything. He was a king, rich king, had everything. This man had like 200 some odd wives. I might be exaggerating, but y'all go read it for yourself in Ecclesiastes. But he had a lot of wives. He had other women on the side. He had wealth. This man had everything. Everything your heart desire. But he noticed throughout all those things that he had, the wealth, the different women, all of the things he had in life, the provision, everything he had, being king. He noticed everything he tried. When he tried the wealth, he said he had everything he needed, and all that he can have. He had everything. And then he noticed, he said, "Well, this is senseless." After a while, he saw that the wealth, it was good, but it didn't bring him total happiness. Then he, had all these women. He said, he had all of that. He had more than his heart could desire. But he looked at it and he said, this is senseless. It still didn't bring him all the happiness that he needed, that he was looking for. You know, I mean, he had everything, but he noticed that all of that, all the worldly things, everything else, wasn't bringing him total happiness. He said, this is senseless. It was senseless to him. So he was looking for what is it that would bring him total happiness. So, you know, he asked God for wisdom and to grant him to be closer to him, you know, the relationship. And God granted that to him. And that's when Solomon found the peace that he needed. And y'all, that's what we should be seeking for. That's what we should be searching for. It says in Proverbs 3, which is my favorite scripture, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he'll make your path straight. So he said, trust in him. Don't lean to what you think. You know, we think the wealth gonna make us happy. We think we travel, that's gonna make us happy. We think if we make more money, it's gonna make us happy. If we get on on a job and some position, different positions, that's gonna make us more happy. And usually the money, you get more money, you spend more money, meaning you got to try to keep up with the money. You get more wealth, and you get more houses and things like that. You get bigger houses, you got to keep it clean, you got to maintain it, you got to pay for it, you know. And that means you got to work more, and then which takes away from family. You know, it is so much we got to look at and understand what true happiness is about. But if we learn how to trust in God and don't lean into the ways that we think that's going to bring us happiness, but in everything we do, in everything, even sitting out here in the park, I'm gracious and I thank God and I trust him for whatever he has for me to do. You know, this is a beautiful time for me where I can sit still and I can hear the birds. You hear them? Y'all hear them out there? I mean, just listening to the sounds and looking at and feeling the heat and the breeze and watching people walking and exercising their bodies and walking the dogs. Oh man, that's happiness. Because how many of us can really sit still because we're so busy trying to keep up with the things in life that we think that's going to bring us happiness, and it's really not bringing us any. So see, I feel like God is really bringing us and trying to get us to understand, you know, what true happiness is. We was locked up, quarantined for so long. We had to be in the house, you know. It was forced for us to be in the house. We had to be with our families, with our husbands, wives, you know. We had to take that time and actually sit still and reevaluate ourselves, be around each other. And some of us couldn't even handle that. Started fighting, bickering, divorces, even started to kill one another. You read about the man killing his wife and children, and the wife committing suicide. Some people just couldn't take that because they were looking, the pressures of it all, of just being there, not doing anything, doing what they felt like they needed to be doing. I'm quite sure it's other issues that could have caused all of this. But the main thing is, just the happiness of being around one another and being close to one another and, being able to talk to one another. I can remember times where families used to sit at the dinner table. They would sit at the dinner tables and discuss their day and talk about their day and talk about what's going to happen the next day. Man, we can't even sit at the dinner table anymore together. We can't even sit in the room together to eat. We ripping and running. We grabbing the food and go. It's just not like it used to be, y'all. I think God is really trying to show us we need to get back to those things. Family is orchestrated by God, and He wants us to be close. He wants us to be able to communicate together, to love one another. but we have gotten away from a lot of that. We go, even our neighbors, and as I speak to you, I speak to myself. I don't know half of my neighbors' name anymore. Half of the older crowd has gone on to be with the Lord, and there are new people in the neighborhood. And I never really took my time to go and knock at the door and say, I'm Martha, and introduce myself. But back in the day, people would introduce themselves. They bring you dishes and sit out and you eat and talk and compare and all types of things. But we don't do that anymore. We don't do that anymore. And I speak to you, I speak to myself. But we need to get back to that. God tells us to love your neighbor as yourself. And how can you love him if you can't love? So how can you love somebody you don't see when you can't even love somebody you see every day? Man, we need to get back to the basics. I read in 2 Chronicles when God tells us, he says, if my people who are called by my name would seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, and pray, he said, I'll heal their land. Gosh, isn't that a powerful statement? He said, if my people who are called by my name. Now, who are those that's called by God's name? Are you called by his name? Are you one of his anointed ones? Are you a Christian? Are you trying to be Christ-like or walk in his ways and his likeness? You're called by his name. He said should seek him. How do we seek him? We learn more about him. We study his word. We see what he has to say about things. He says, seek my face. I mean, getting closer to him. When you say you want to see somebody, I'm going to talk to her face to face. I'm going to tell him to his face what I have to say. You know how we do? Well, what that mean? We want to get close up to him, right? Face to face. We want them to hear us and see us. We want them to feel us. But that's what we need to do when we talk to God as well. Get face to face with him. He's in spirit, so we have to serve him in spirit and truth. So talk to him just like you talk. I'm talking to you. Believe that he's there in spirit, and get in it. Seek him. Get to face to face. Having that personal relationship, knowing he's there, knowing you can depend on him, knowing he gonna give you an answer in one way or another. Believe me, he will. So he says, seek my face. Turn from your wicked ways. Man, we need to turn from these ways. We've been doing this, that, and the other. We do our own thing, just like I just was telling you in the other passage. Don't lean to our own understanding, honey. We think we got it going on. It's all about what we think, say, or feel. But we don't live in a land of Burger King slogan. It's not our way. We're supposed to be living God's way. So he says, seek my face. Turn from our ways. Let's turn from the hatred. Let's turn from the pride. Let's turn from, the racism. Let's turn from these wicked ways. We got the answer. I don't agree with this one, and they don't agree with that one. And instead of coming to agreement or, learning to agree and disagree, but we just want to fight and bicker and fuss and now shooting and killing and stealing and everything else. Till our world is going to just disaster, disgrace. So he said to turn from your wicked ways. Pray. A lot of us don't even pray anymore, especially when we don't get the answer we feel we should get. We start, I don't know. I didn't get that answer, so I'm going to do it this way. But, we have to wait for the answer. And God always has the right answer for us. What we think may be right for us may not be the right thing. And I did it before. I thought, I prayed about it, but I didn't get the answer I wanted, so I started doing the thing that I wanted to do. And guess what happened? Guess what the outcome was? It was all messed up, honey. All messed up. So yeah, we have to, when we pray and we talk to him, we have to have the understanding of knowing he has the answer. He's going to give you the answer. And it's always going to be the right answer. It's always going to be what's best for you. So sometimes we have to wait. Just don't lean into what we think they'll feel. But just wait on him. He said and pray. And then he said, I will heal your land. That's what somebody gave me out. He said, I'll heal your land. And if you just do those things, very simple instructions, really. But what do? We don't listen. We don't obey. Obey? What you talking about? Obey? I don't obey nobody. Nobody tell me what to do. That's a lot about work. I'm my own person. I'm my own man. I'm my own woman. Nobody tells me what to do. Somebody have to tell you something. Whether it's God or somebody on your boss on the job, somebody gonna tell you something. So don't go around thinking nobody can't tell you anything. But if we just turn to God Almighty, we can see a healing in our land. We can see changes. We can see communities and a nation coming back together. We can see unity back together again. We can see on a job, this one ain't fighting for that one position and this one trying to be better than that one and, fighting and bickering over the position. We can see a change if we just change ourselves. And the thing about God, he gives us a chance over and over and over again. He's such a loving and merciful and kind God. And then he said in his word too, he wants us to have life and have it more abundantly to the full, till it overflow. He wants us to live a better life. He wants us to live a good life. He wants us to be happy, y'all. He really do. He wants us to be happy. And we need to trust in him and to be happy. We have to believe that that's what he wants. He tells us in the word that the enemy comes around to steal, kill, and to destroy. And the enemy, evil, wants us to be fighting against one another, want us to destroy one another, want us to destroy our land. Just want confusion, disunity. That's evil. The enemy want that. But God said, I want you to have life to the abundant, to the full, till it overflow. But then guess what? God gives us choices. He gives us choices. He said, I give you life, put before you life and death. Choose life. He wants us to choose. He gives us a choice. A lot of us are choosing death. We're choosing to live dangerously. We're choosing to live disconnected from one another. We're choosing all the darkness of life than to choose the life that God is giving us and providing for us. So today, think about it. What do you choose? Choose life today, y'all. Enjoy everything that God has put before you. Go out and smell of just smell the breeze of the air. Go out and look at the sunrise and the sunset. Look at the trees blowing. Look at the birds in the air. Think about those birds. They fly around, they eat, they go fly to another area. They don't worry about a thing. And that's what God tells us about our life. He compares it with the birds. He said, look at them. They don't worry. Why should you worry? He said, I take care of them. I could take care of you as well. So it's a lot to be grateful for. It's a lot to be thankful for. It's a lot to make you happy. If you just sit back, look, think, enjoy, and know that all things work together for good for those that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. All things work together for good. So no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're facing, this too shall pass. Just enjoy life and have a blessed and wonderful week. I love you all. Be blessed.